All right, fun. This is the Whitecap Tremolo from Old Blood Noise. Old Blood Noise endeavors making quirky, cool, fun, unique effects. This is a dual tremolo. There's an analog and a digital side. So over here, these white knobs on the right control the analog side, and then these blue knobs control the digital side. On the analog side, you basically have your rate here, your depth, and volume. And then on the other side, you've got a digital tremolo with a few other options. You've got a wave shape selector here with sine wave, like a triangle type wave, square wave, and then two different directions of like ramp up, ramp down. And then just like on the analog side, you've got your rate here and depth and volume. In addition, on the digital side, you have this tap tempo over here, which you can just, tap in. Also, one thing I didn't demonstrate in the demo, this little switch up at the top here, you can do either quarter notes, eighth notes, or eighth note triplets, which is sort of fun. So if you tap in kind of a slower tempo, I can demonstrate that. I like that triplet thing. A lot of times actually when I'm using a tremolo, I want to go for a triplet kind of feel because it is a nod to like the tempo of whatever you're doing without, having to be exactly right on. One other cool feature on the digital side is this ramp function over here. If you get a tempo and then you hold down the tap button and turn the rate knob up or down, then when you hold down the tap button while you're playing, it will ramp up or ramp down to that other tempo. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here. So if I get a tempo here, maybe go a little faster. And I want that to ramp down. So I'm just gonna hold down this tap button and then turn this ramp tempo down to where I want it to ramp down to. And then when I release the tap tempo button, it's gonna go back to the tempo I started at. And then when I hold the tap button, it's gonna ramp down to that tempo that I set on there. So let me just show you that. And then of course, when you release the tap button, it'll ramp back up. All kinds of possibilities. And I like how it sort of slowly ramps down, and also you can do a ramp up. So on the digital side, you have a crazy amount of options. And then the real fun comes in when you combine these two effects together. The main thing to know is there are two modes on this thing, series or parallel. So if something is in series, it means it goes into one and then into the other one and then out to your amp. In parallel means they're both running like together. So they're both running sort of independent of each other. One is not affecting the other one. They're both being applied basically to your signal in parallel and then both kind of being sent out to your amp as one. But they're not affecting each other the way they would in series. So I'm gonna start in series here because I think that's maybe a little easier to understand. Basically, you have one tremolo running into the other tremolo. So pretty basic sine wavy kind of thing on the digital side there. And then now I'm gonna turn up the depth on the analog side and you'll hear that one come in as well. So in series mode, it's like sort of this glitchy, sort of randomized sounding thing. They call this an asynchronous dual tremolo. The two tremolos never really match up to each other. They're both kind of living their own best life. And they'll affect each other in this series mode. But then when you go to parallel mode, which I'll go to now, it opens up sort of a whole other can of worms. Let me just play that same sound, changing nothing else except I just switched to parallel mode. I find there's almost like a little flanging, which sort of makes sense because the digital mode, obviously it's, you're going through an analog to digital converter, and the analog mode's fully analog. So there's a tiny, tiny, tiny amount of like signal delay on the digital side, but not on the analog side. And the difference between those two kind of causes this underwater, warbly, flange-y sort of thing. I find that the tremolo itself isn't as dramatic because you don't have one running into the other one. So there's not one kind of master tremolo that is modulating everything. They're both kind of vying for the signal strength in there. And I find the output is a lot like hotter, even when you have the depth at 100%. So many fun and cool options. It's also got this external tap footswitch input. I was surprised, sort of the crazy warbly fun sounds didn't sound how I was expecting it to, which is fun. I've tried a lot of tremolos, and this one is very different and offers some really fun, unique, exciting features, which is kind of what we've come to expect from old Blood Noise. So definitely check it out if you get a chance. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you all next time.